Like to say shalom to all my Israelite brothers and sisters, those that are near, those that are far off. I guess I can't get no friends list on there, so I just see who'll chime in. No friends list. Shalom, Elder. I see you had called me last night, man. I said, what time is it, man? It must be, I didn't know what time it was, but I guess where you was at, it was like 9 o'clock. It was about 1 where I was at. Okay, I was just coming on here. I want to just give an update and a report on our sister. We did reach our $100 goal that we was raising. The sister just had a little hard time being moved into a new place. So I want to thank the brothers and sisters that have given, and thank the brothers and sisters. And I want to encourage the brothers and sisters, because this is a very small thing that we're doing, but it's major. It's major in the sense that the one thing we ain't learned how to do is take care of each other. That's the one thing we ain't learned how to do, and I'm convinced that until we learn how to do that, ain't none of us going nowhere but into more hell and more fire and more trouble. Because until Israel learn how to lean and depend on Israel, then we're gonna be in trouble. So this thing that we do is a very small thing, in light that it don't cost much, and it don't take no stress and no strain. When we ask people for $5 or $6 or $5 or $10 here or there, there's no strain. But the principles that we're learning are great, because every time that we collectively come together and we do something like this, in the mind of the other person, because they don't see the people on social media, they don't see where the collecting come from. Only thing that they see is them fathers hand up provision show up in their life. Henceforth, we move into a place to where we become those that fulfill scripture that says, let your good works be seen before men, and they'll glorify your Father in heaven. Too many brothers, too many sisters. It didn't say, let your face be seen before men. Let your good words be heard before men. It said, let your good works be seen. I mean, if people don't even need to see you, they just need to see your works. Let your good works be seen before men. And then the Messiah turned around and say, when you get ready to go and do your good works, do not sound the trumpet as the hypocrites do. But now when you do your good works, you hide, you don't let your right hand know what your left hand is doing. You are not seen doing good works, but your works themselves are being seen. As your works show up and are seen before men, they give your Father in heaven glory, because they can't see your face. Too many times, the only reason why we want to do stuff is when we can get some self-glory for it, or some self-gratification for it. So it's a good thing that when people by faith contribute or sow into a particular place, their good works now will be seen before men that will give the Father glory based on something that somebody else did that they never even saw. These are the simplistic principles of the faith, where everybody talking about the deep hidden things. We want to know about all these deep hidden mysteries. It don't make no difference how many mysteries you know. If you fail at these simplistic principles when it comes to caring for one another, you might as well throw the Bible out the window and every other book. See, When we was in church, it was the same way. The people that was giving, they wanted to have their name on the envelope so that everybody could know that the money that was in this envelope came to such and such, such and such. And so then the church the pastors began to have respect for the people whose name was on the envelope that had great money in it. And it was a favoritism breaks out there. But see, the Most High said, you got your reward right there. that is your reward. You didn't see those people just putting money in the envelope and leaving it blank so that you don't know who the money came from. I don't know where this $150 came from. But I know one thing, because I don't know, and I can't with pinpoint accuracy determine where it came from, I just accredit this to the work of the Most High. But somebody else want to do something and then want to have some glory about it. Oh, I done this. Oh yeah, this is what I done. But the Most High said that's your reward too. So these things right here teach us some simplistic principles about giving, about love for the brethren. The only way you're going to be known as a disciple, according to the words of Jesus the Christ, or Yeshua HaMashiach, or Yahawashi HaMashiach, only way you're going to know whether you're one of his disciples is by the love that you express toward your brethren. And you cannot measure your love for anybody except by the sacrifice that you're willing to make. So if you're not willing to make sacrifice, you know what? We don't have no problem. You can get people doing all types of things. But where a man's heart is, where a man's treasure is, that's where his heart is at. So if we reach for your pocket or your wallet and you got a lock on it, well, that's where your heart is. That's where your heart is. And your heart ain't for the Most High. Because the Most High blesses us so that he blesses us in abundance, that it might spill over. That's what it means to have things pressed down, shaken together, and running over. When they press down, shaking together, and running over, that running over part means that as it spills out, it begins to, like an overflowing water. It gets the overflow the bathtub or the sink. It spills out of the sink, then gets the floor wet. And then if it keep on overflowing and keep on overflowing, before you know it, everything would be engulfed in the overflow of that thing. That's how the Most High blesses us. When we have love for the brethren and we help our brothers and sisters out of our abundance that he ain't giving us, he continue to let us have an abundance of things. You see? I don't have no bunch of money or stuff like that. But I know I'm living life abundantly. And I don't say this in no arrogant way, but I'm living life abundantly. Because I don't have no outstanding debt. Oh no man, anything except to love him. I don't have no outstanding debt. I don't have no outstanding credit cards. I don't have no car payments. I don't have no house payments. And so what little, the little needs that I do have, the Most High meets them with nothing. And I'm always gonna have 5 or 10, 20, maybe 30 extra dollars to go somewhere when somebody needs some help. And so it's like, you know, I'm gonna do this on my own. And I'm not, like I said, I don't say this out of arrogance, just say it for an example. To show you how it is that you're blessed. If the Bible say, oh no man, nothing but to love him, and then you got mountains and mountains of debt, you're not honoring the Most High. You're not walking in that. You see? Because when we start blessing, becoming a blessing and lovers of the brother, the Most High will move. He will transition our position to where he say we should be. Because what it is that he'll keep moving us so that we can become a greater blessing, and an even greater blessing, and an even greater blessing, and an even greater blessing. Well, if you can be one that's a blesser and a giver, to the aid of your brothers and your sisters, while you're in debt, the Most High is saying, well, you know what? He got debt. He got all his money going these different ways. He got a car payment, got a house note, got insurance. He got all his money going out this way. He still find a few dollars to help his brothers and sisters whenever they have need. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to release him. I'm going to release him from that car payment. He'll release you from that car payment. I'm going to release them. I'll let them stumble up on something in that house they need to be paid for in 25 years, 20 years. That thing gonna get paid. I'm gonna bless them where they can pay for this thing in 7 years. It'll be done because they blessing people like that. And if they can bless people under those circumstances, imagine what a greater blessing that they gonna be when I remove anything that's outstanding that's standing in their way. They will have 10 times as much to become a blesser. So instead of blessing one brother or sister over here, you'll find yourself blessing 10 brothers and sisters, because now the Most High has set you free from those things. But many times, man, we close our hand with the little that the Most High gives us. We turn around and we close our hand. We close our hand. And then the Most High close his hand too. You know what I'm saying? So it's a lot of people that's talking that nonsense. Talking that nonsense about how good the Most High is, how good this and that is. But as soon as you get your paycheck, you ain't got nothing for nobody. You broke. You struggling. You paying a house payment, you paying a car payment, you paying 2 car payments, some of you paying 2 car payments, you paying lights, gas, and water, you paying all of that, and you pretending that the Most High is blessing you. But you going crazy because you can't even take a day off work. You can't take a day off work. You got to wait a whole year to take a vacation. And then when you do get the vacation, you can't enjoy it. You can't go nowhere. You got no money. You can't jump on a plane. You can't travel. You can't do nothing. There are a lot of things that I can't do, but a lot of things I don't do because they're frivolous. And there are more important things that could be getting done. You see, so, and it's something because you don't know. You don't know who gonna lose their job tomorrow. You don't know. You don't know who gonna have a death in the family that they don't have no insurance. You don't know. You don't know which married couple somebody gonna fall sick and can't go to work. You understand? You don't know. I know I just come out of a situation. My wife hadn't worked in 6 years. Hadn't worked in 6 years to take care of her mother. You don't know who gonna be in that condition. You just don't know. You don't know. And the Bible say, cast your bread up on the waters, and after many days, thou shalt find it again. Your bread is your substance. The waters is the people that you are living your life with, your brothers and sisters. He said, when I bless you, you cast your substance out there amongst my people that are in need. And when it's your time of need, after many days, you shall find that substance. Those good deeds that you've done, you shall find those things coming back. You know? And it's a beautiful thing that when you're in trouble and you need something and you don't have to, you don't even have to ask nobody. When I be in trouble sometimes I find myself in trouble and in lack, I don't even have to ask nobody. The Most High just put it on somebody's heart and that thing just come right back, right when you need it. That's, we are a selfish people. We are a selfish people. And that's why we argue so much, because we are selfish. It's not about the Most High. It's about me, myself, and I. And it has to be all about me. I got to be at the top of my class, you know. We have the same spirit of our beloved brother that I be talking about sometimes, Paul. We have the same spirit. You want to be the top of everything because you're thinking about yourself. I was the top of my class. I was smarter than everybody. When it came to the law, wasn't nobody outdoing me. I was teaching the best life. I was everything. Nobody was persecuting the church like I was. You know what? You think them people that stoned Stephen was doing something? They didn't do nothing, man. I was way colder than them people. I persecuted them till it was. Ain't nobody sinner. It ain't never been a sinner like me. It ain't never been a sinner. It ain't never. See, that's humanity of an individual. And sometimes that's how we like Donald Trump. It had to be all about us. You see? And when it comes to your brothers and sisters, it's all about us. It's all about us. Make America great again. Talking about the white people. You want it all about you. So when the hurricane hit, you don't want the people from the Bahamas coming in. You don't want the people in Mexico in. You don't want none of these things. You don't want no outside people. Only thing you want is what you know, is selfish. But that's why the Most High is hammering our European brothers. Or shall I say our European children. That's why the Most High is hammering them. Because they never had no love for anybody outside of themselves. You see? And they'll murder anybody outside of themselves to get what they want. Well, some of our brothers are the same way. You know? You'll murder. But when it comes time for us, we say that we love the Most High. But that has to be demonstrated. People can reject your words, but they cannot deny your demonstration. There's too many people that's talking. Too many people's talking, not enough doing. And I know, because when I'm doing these videos sometimes, it be so many people that's on there that's fighting, that's debating. Well, you know what? You fighting and you debating about things that, you know what, the Most High may bring an understanding to later. Somebody might learn tomorrow what's being said today. Somebody just might be misunderstood and it's disagreement. You see, you ain't got no shortage of people. I could have, 50 people on one video that's doing that, trying to prove a point about something that understanding may come later on. But when we pull out something that everybody can understand, everybody that can understand, love thy neighbor as thyself. Would you withhold bread from yourself? If you was hungry, would you withhold bread from yourself? Well, why would you withhold it from your neighbor? You see? Love your neighbor as yourself. This is the measuring stick for those that say that they are disciples of the Messiah. No matter what name you call them by. The people in church, you call them by the name of Jesus. But by this, men shall know you're my disciples. Well, see, the Christian church, you same too. You preachers, you pastors, you got no love for anybody outside of your congregation. You see what I'm saying? And then when you do send people out on the street, it ain't in the name of the Lord. It's so that you can see some type of vainglory out there. It's done so that you can go out there and try to talk to people about what you believe. And if they don't want to accept what you believe, then you can easily withhold whatever it is. But the Most High don't give us no stipulations when it comes to loving the brethren. He didn't say love the brethren as you love yourself if they believe that they are Israelite, if they believe that they are Christian, if they believe that they are Muslim. He didn't say that. He said, because it don't make no difference which walk of life that nobody come from. We are all brethren. We are the same blood running through our veins. Even like we was talking about the abolished law of sacrifice. And he said, your animals, these animals are your fellow creatures. They are as your brothers and your sisters because they are created out of the same substance. You say, by this, men shall know that you are my disciple. We don't beg for money. We don't beg for money because I don't need people's money. And I learned how to live less is better than me. But you know what? And I'm telling you, and it's a good opportunity to witness to some of your brothers and sisters. Nobody got to send me a dime. But you still have to operate by these principles. So I try to encourage brothers. The brothers that so-called teaching and stuff like that, you need to challenge them brothers. You need to challenge them brothers. To everybody that's following them, everybody that's so-called learning from them, you need to challenge them brothers to do some of the same things that's being done. You see? So that when people have needs, and Israel got needs, because the vast majority of our people still on welfare, still on food stamps, still going through these hardships in the places of our captivity. In most cases, it's not just because they're just there. In many cases, it's because they're rebellious and they make bad decisions and they make bad choices and they won't heed what people are telling them. But the Most High didn't tell you to love your brothers and sisters based on whether they was just, it tells us that we should know to whom we're going to do our good to. That means that we look well into a matter, as Solomon said, and so that nobody can hustle us, because we want our good works that we are doing to go into places that's going to be most impactful and beneficial where the Father's people come from concerned. But we ain't doing no hustling, so we're going to know to who we do our good to. We're going to help the godly man and not the sinner. You see? We're going to help the godly man. But just because you might be godly don't mean that you don't make bad choices and bad decisions. You can be godly and make bad decisions. I was a godly man and make a bad decision and smoke up my whole paycheck. You know what I mean? And I was a godly man. I loved the Most High. I loved the Most High and everything. But I just had some hang-ups that when I came to the Most High that I hadn't got over them. And the love for the Most High had not overrode those bad habits that I had. But this is what we face with. And it break your heart when you come out there and you know that you know why you do things, and it break your heart. You know, as I said before, you know, out of all the people that be on Facebook, you know, fighting back and forth, I never seen not one of them jokers, not one of them. They won't contribute a dime. You know what I'm saying? You know why? Because they not on Facebook. They're not doing what they doing because they honor the Most High. They doing what they doing. They're motivated by their flesh. They're motivated by selfishness, and they're trying to prove something to somebody. And that's why a lot of times they get crashed like crash dummies and get brought to utter shame, because the Most High knows who you are, and He knows where you are, and He knows what your heart is like, and He knows whether you're somebody that's just pretending, hiding behind a keyboard. He knows already whether you're somebody that's just Googling some scripture to come back, and He already know whether you're somebody that's walking by the things that you know, or whether you're a hypocrite just hiding and talking. He already knows those things. Already know them. But the measuring stick is still the same. So we want to come on here and we want to just say thank you to the brothers and sisters that were mindful. And as I stated before, the PayPal account got opened up when young General Deshaun Tatum got murdered. And we raised some money and we decided that we would keep it open. I talked to one of my young brothers this morning and who was asking about it, and I got to explain the foundation of it. It was just on my heart to keep it open in case somebody else needed some help. And I told him over last year, it's not no lot. It's not no lot. It's not what Red Cross do, but it's more than some people are doing. Some people are just talking. But I told him, I said, you know what? Through that Facebook PayPal account, we bless out over $15,000 worth of brothers and sisters. And I don't know where the money came from. All I know is that when I asked for it, people would do it. And I tracked those receipts and everything and calculated them up at the end of the year. And I said, man, them brothers and sisters, man, they give. And I went on there and said, we blessed people with almost $15,000 in assistance last year. I think that's something to be proud about. That's something to thank the Most High about. You know, it's something to be grateful about, you know. So I want to encourage the brothers and sisters. You don't have to sow anything into the PayPal account. You can find somebody that has a passion in that area. You know, it takes footwork to go and do that. You know what I mean? Footwork. You got to go to Walmart. You got to get the paperwork. You got to find how you gonna send the money off. You take footwork to do that. So it got to be in you. It got to be something in you that, you know, people don't just do that. You know what I mean? There has to be something in you to operate in that type of manner. You know what I mean? Running back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. When people start sending money, it comes from different places. Some of them send it through Western Union. You got to go over here to CVS, find the Western Union, and some you got to go ride to Walmart. And you go to Walmart, you go to MoneyGram. Then when you get home, you find out you got something else at Walmart. You got to go back to Walmart. You got to go back to. It takes a level. It takes a level of. It has to be in you to do that. And it's in many of our people to do it. And it's what the Bible called the gift of helps. It is the gift of helps. And that gift of helps is to us what the Ruach HaKodesh is. Ruach HaKodesh. Ruach HaKodesh. Hebrew, Ruach HaKodesh. In Greek, Allos Parakletos, meaning one who comes alongside and help. And we say that we're operating by the Ruach HaKodesh. That means that you are to be one that comes alongside of your brother and help, because that is what the Ruach HaKodesh is. It is the helper. You see? Yeah, so So I just wanted to come on here and just thank the brothers and sisters and those that can and will, whenever the Most High bless you with an abundance. Let something run off. And you try everything by the Spirit. And if the Spirit prompts your heart that you come across somebody that is trustworthy and transparent enough to be trusted to help, and that things are getting the right place, then you find a way to start investing your energy and your seeds into those individuals. I know one thing. I thank the people that have sold. I just had a brother brother, I can mention them by name because that's coming from the outside because they're good works. I had a brother just call me earlier this week. He said, "Hey, Elder," he sent me a text message. "Hey, I sent you something at Walmart. And I know," he said, "but it's for you." Because every now and then I have a need too. You know, every now and then I get, you know, I don't work. You know, I'm disabled. You know, I can't do so much, you know. And I get like $500 a month. So it ain't a lot of money. But every now and then somebody is saying something and be like, "Hey, that's for you, man." And that's beautiful right there. But most of the time when it happens, it be the time that I have need. And I can look, and I'll try as best that I can. I don't try to use that PayPal account for my own personal self. It had to be dire need. I mean, I will use something in there if I have a dire need, but that's not for me. That's for the brothers and sisters that, you know, do what they do. So, brothers and sisters have problems, so, you know, but it's good. I wanted to come on here and let everybody know that our sister's need have been met. Once again, the Most High's hand of provision has showed up in her life. And tell your brothers and sisters, go and do likewise, because this is the measuring stick. This is the measuring stick, you know. And we was in church, that's how we did it. We didn't give out of our goodness. And when in church, man, you know what? And people used to get mad at me because I used to talk back to preachers when they preach. I can talk back to them. They was preaching good. "Come on home. Bring it on home, Doc. Bring it on home. Bring that thing up out there. Bring it on." I talk back to them. But I didn't just talk back to them when they was preaching good. When they come and they would beg for some more money, "Well, you know, this ain't enough. We're going to need a..." I'm saying, hey, don't you think the Most High knew what you was going to collect before you collected it? See, they don't like that. And then people look at it like it's a form of disrespect, but really it ain't a form of disrespect. It's a form of recognizing bullshit when you see it, okay? Don't you think that the Most High, you prayed before you, "Oh, Father, bless this offering we're about to receive." Then when you receive the offering, it ain't good enough. Don't you think that the Most High knew exactly how much you was going to receive because you asked him out front to bless it? And when he blessed you with what he was going to give you, you asked for more. And I was saying, that's what I tell him. Hey, don't y'all think that the Most High knew what you was going to receive? So who are you to say that it ain't enough? As matter of fact, why don't you just go in your pocket and get the rest out? You're going to get paid for preaching this sermon. Why don't you make up the difference instead of keep looking out here trying to get stuff for people? Let's just keep it real, people. Everybody is not no disciple. Your discipleship is going to be based on your love that you displaying toward the brother. If you see brother, your sister in a crisis that's in your town, that you not know that they not just out here on no dumb stuff, and you close your hand, you ain't no disciple. You're a fraud. You're a fraud. So, I just want to come on and say thanks once again, everybody. Bless you all. And some of your brothers need to set something up like that in your town. When you're a brother and you got a lot of people following your page, you need to collectively come together with those people, and then you need to set something up. Because, see, I know the people that's on my page, and I don't care how far they go back. I've been watching them for years, and I literally done built a relationship. Even though I ain't seen a lot of faces, I really done built a relationship just from communicating back and forth with a lot of people. So I know the people that's familiar to me. And even though the sister that was dealing with yesterday, my wife said, ain't that such and such that lost her child a little way, ain't that such and such from a couple of years back? And then I said, well, I'm not sure, you know, but she sent me a text message. She said, I'm such and such, such and such. And remember when I was in North Carolina or Virginia, whatever one it was, he said, you had Brother Change Weston, YTM, you had them to come and see about me and this and that and the other. See, some people just, they will look to you, you see, and this so happens. See, but I know the people. So when I know these people that I've been communicating with, I can take that to the bank. That they ain't, you know, what they said. If they fall into something, let's go. Okay, what we gonna do? And then a lot of the other brothers and sisters that's on the Facebook page that's following, they get familiar with them brothers and sisters too. I mean, remember we got Sister Doyle. And all of our brothers and sisters was familiar with Sister Doyle. Was elder. Don't worry about it. When I come on there, hey, look, we need to get Sister Doyle what she need. You know, the brothers and sisters know Sister Doyle, so they're like, hey, you know what? Here's 5, here's 10, and you know what? And we got, you know, so if you got a following of people, and they're benefiting off of the things that you're teaching, and they're growing, then you show them and teach them through your ministry how to start caring for one another. Because when this stuff, what is it? SHTF. When SHTF happened, you know what that means? SHTF. When shit hits the fan. Because it will hit the fan. You know the SHTF symbol, if you look on YouTube, it is always dealing with the making of provisions for your family and for your brothers and your sisters when SHTF happens. They teach you these things, but it will happen. It will happen. We got Elder Emmanuel on the horn, and that's one thing they always tell me about. And you know, and I feel comfortable because when I know that I got elders behind me, a lot of time y'all don't even understand, but a lot of time elders behind me pushing me to Israel to get a specific message there. And this is one of them. And the elder said all the time, he said, our people got to learn this. They got to learn how to bind together. They got to learn how to come together, because when shit hits the fan, when it hits the fan and they got to lock them cities down, and you got a craving for flesh and blood, hey man, they showing you automatically right out the gate what it is. Your Hollywood is constantly dealing with vampires, those that drink blood. And the Hollywood movies is constantly dealing with the zombies, them that's eating flesh. If you think that these things ain't gonna happen, you sadly mistaken. If you think that the dollar ain't gonna crash, then you sadly mistaken. If you think that this place ain't going into hyperinflation one day and the grocery store shelves will be empty, you sadly mistaken. If you think that all of this hell, this race war and all this stuff is not gonna happen when it's prophesied even in the scripture to happen, you sadly mistaken. If you're only thinking about yourself, we're about to start learning how to bind ourselves together. And these simple principles right here is what teaches us how to do it. Because it lets us see, okay, I did it. Now look at that. God boomeranged and it came back on this end. Let me try that again. Because they used to say it in the church. You can't beat God given. You see? So you can't beat God given. Ain't no such thing as having a wonderful life in a fallen world. We might as well get our minds right. Because we say we Hebrew Israelites, but we in love with Babylonian, and I ain't going to say that this is Babylon, but, you know, might as well be some type of representative, but we say we Israel, but we have fallen in love with the places of our captivity. To the point to where when we hear Russia and China on there, we start talking about, oh boy, can't nobody whoop us, boy. Ain't nobody got no military better than us. You ain't got no military. We've traded everything in that we had for what the heathens had. And then we'll be a part of the heathens' destruction too, if we don't get our minds right. But see, right now, we still depend more on the heathen than we depend on each other. Right now, we still got a level of self-hatred against each other that's running rampant through our community. We still got brothers that's in Israel that's hating their brothers that's still Christians. It's still the same thing. It's still the same thing. We ain't learned these principles of brotherhood. And we're going to be in trouble if we don't get it right. And so every now and then it will be a challenge. But if you can challenge somebody to give $5 and they can't muster up the strength to give up a bloody hamburger, a bloody cheeseburger, you can't sacrifice a bloody cheeseburger to give to your brother and sister. You ain't no disciple of the Messiah. See, the Messiah's disciples, they had to give themselves up. See, they gave themselves up. And one of them said, hey man, look, my dad just died. Let me go bury my father. The funeral was Saturday. And you know what? Hey, I understand that, man. But, let the dead bury the dead. You want to follow me? Don't worry about what you talking about. You come on. Shoot, man. Different things, they cost you. They cost you, And those things going to be measured by your pocket. You talk till you turn blue in the face. I come on here and ask, hey, everybody that can and will, we need $25. We got to raise $600 for one of our brothers and sisters that's in a crisis. You know what I mean? That's the time. That's where the rubber meet the road at. That's where the rubber meet the road at. Stuff that I can do, I will do. You know what I mean? I say that all the time. So it's all good. But Shalom, I'm gonna go out and get out here in his heat and do some work. All the praises to the Most High for all the brethren, all the sisters. And let us settle our differences, settle our disputes. And I had to block 2 brothers last week. Y'all know out of my whole Facebook history, I ain't ever blocked nobody. I blocked 1 person before. And out of all these years, I blocked 2 brothers because they was disrespectful. And I just told them, man, you know what, when we can't agree, let's just find peace as brothers and just leave the conversation alone. Well, they wouldn't leave the conversation alone and just kept going and kept going and kept going and kept going until I just said, well, you know what? I asked as a brother that we have peace because of, and they didn't, so I blocked them. But I don't want to block them. I said, well, I'll block them now and then I'll go and pick them back up later. And so I hope that when I do come back, that they'll pick. I just want them to understand, just like a lot of other brothers, it's time out for all that back and forth arguing mess. If you don't understand what's being said, you should go into your closet, pray about it, and then live your life and allow the Spirit to bring conviction in that area or to release you from whatever it is. You shouldn't be just arguing with people like the grand sum total of what the Most High's will is. When we using the scripture, you take the scripture. If scripture you ain't never been exposed to, then you know what, don't try to come with nothing else to try to rebuttal nothing. You just, just take it and go on. Go on. If you agree, you agree. If you don't agree, then you don't agree, and keep it moving. You say why you don't agree, and bam, that's a done deal. It's over with. But all of that nonsense that we've been going through, man, out here is foolishness. So, all right, so sisters' needs is met, and then I'm about to go out here and do some work. Shalom.